What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and today I'm going to be doing a different style of video. So on my second channel many months ago, back when KSI was actually fighting Joe Weller, I did some predictions on the fight and how the fight would turn out. I didn't look back on my video, but I'm really interested to see if I got any predictions right. But for this fight, I'm actually going to be doing some predictions because a lot of people are asking who's going to win between the two, KSI or Logan Paul, and for what reasons. And the fight's going to kick off literally in about 9 days at this point, so it's literally soon. These guys are literally going to be throwing hands in the ring soon, and it's all going down at the Manchester Arena. And because of this, I definitely want to do a video to talk about who I think is going to win and for what reasons. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So as you can see in the background, we're playing a different video. We're playing the face-to-face between KSI and Logan Paul. You can catch that on the KSI versus Logan Paul YouTube channel, which is pretty much just blowing up on its own recently. But if you want to watch more coverage on the fight, more teasers and previews, you can check out that channel as well, and it'll also link you where you can buy the pay-per-view if you're interested. But basically, I'm going to be telling you what I think about this. So first of all, we have KSI. We know that he's got the experience. He fought Joe Weller a few months ago. He's been in the ring once before, and he's got the experience. One thing is, different sports you have to prepare differently, you have to train differently. They're not exactly the same. We know that Logan Paul, on the other hand, has a future with wrestling. This guy has been athletic basically most of his life, so he can kind of go into something and learn it really quickly and have an edge over it, and I think he will get used to his environment really quickly. So Logan Paul's done wrestling, so he's definitely been training. The dude, he's in good shape, he's been training for a long time, so it wouldn't really be so hard for him to jump in this. All he'd really need to work on is obviously his cardiovascular training, which probably won't be hard. He's been going to the gym for a long time, and he's obviously been lifting weights, and he's done sports before. The only thing Logan Paul's going to have to do to master and possibly actually win this fight is he's going to be training his endurance and training his cardio. One thing that we saw in the last fight with Joe Weller versus KSI is Joe Weller was quite slow, he was kind of sluggish. Joe Weller was obviously in great shape anyway, he'd definitely been training, that's something that we can't doubt. But he was kind of sluggish and slow with his punches. The reason being is because he was obviously training with his cardiovascular, but he was training to put on size rather than lose size. So obviously KSI was trying to lose weight to get down to the weight. Joe Weller was trying to put on weight to kind of meet halfway. I'm not sure how it turned out. I'm not sure if Joe Weller was heavier than KSI. I think he was, but I can't really remember. But obviously with boxing, it's great to have some size on you to hit harder punches, but you need to be more nimble, so you kind of need a balance between size and weight so you can actually be more nimble. Now obviously weight doesn't really matter too much, it's the conditioning and the size of you, but weight gives you a great ballpark figure with this. So obviously if you look at professional fight, for an example, we look at something like Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao, or let's look at Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, which is one of the more recent fights. That was crazy. That was like an $100 million or $150 million payout for those guys just for throwing hands in one fight. Floyd Mayweather is the champion. Now, some people say that Floyd Mayweather's fights are rigged. That's not my opinion. I'm not going to say that. I really enjoy watching the fights, but some people do say that. But the reason I think Floyd Mayweather wins so many of his fights is he knows how to play with his cardiovascular, he knows how to wait for the opponent before they get weak. You'll see that Floyd Mayweather, he doesn't really throw too many punches, he doesn't tire himself out very quickly, he moves really nimbly across the boxing ring and doesn't allow himself to get hit very much, so he kind of just is really actively moving. And then he throws the punches at the end when the rounds sort of come closing in, because he wanted to be undefeated, so obviously he didn't want to tire himself out, he needed to jog around the arena so he didn't get hit. And obviously we saw with Conor McGregor, boxing was new to him, so he kind of had to do more cardiovascular for this to outlast his opponent in rounds. And who best to go against other than Floyd Mayweather, the champion of boxing, as your first match? Absolutely crazy. Obviously the incentive there is $100 million. That's a huge payout in comparison to UFC's payout, but we're going a little bit off topic here. Basically what we're saying is Floyd Mayweather is small, he's lean, he's athletic, he's done a lot of cardio, and he's got kind of like the perfect balance between size and endurance. So that's one thing that Logan Paul needs to do. What we've seen is, apparently according to different sources, Logan Paul is actually losing weight for this fight, so he's going to be a little bit more nimble. He definitely needs to lose a little bit of size, exercise and definitely work on his cardiovascular if he's going to actually last in this fight, because we know from before that KSI has pretty good endurance. That's one thing he's been training, his cardiovascular work, his endurance work. With Joe Weller, KSI was moving around a lot, and you could tell that KSI was getting tired, but obviously that's human. But he definitely survived so many rounds, and KSI will definitely be improving his endurance even more to prepare for this fight. Even though he didn't really throw many hard punches, he was definitely still throwing a few jabs, and he was lasting so many different rounds. And with boxing, it's not always about punching power, it's about a balance between endurance and lasting all those rounds. So that's definitely something that Logan needs to work on, because that's one of KSI's strengths. He can last for a long duration of rounds, he has the endurance to throw a lot of punches as well. One thing that KSI needs to work on though is KSI needs to work on his defense. You saw that in his defense in the Joe Weller fight, he got almost too confident, I guess. And also his trainer said the exact same thing, so I'm not bad-mouthing him, I'm just telling honestly what his downside is. He's not very good at defense, he needs to work on his defense. Logan Paul has the height advantage on him, and he also has the reach. He has a big arm span, he has a big reach with the length of his arms, so he's going to have powerful punches. He's already in shape, he's already done sports before, he's not jumping into one sport here, so this guy is going to be training every day. People said that Logan Paul literally is in the gym all the time, even before preparing for this fight, so he's definitely going to come prepared, he's definitely going to have strong punches. One thing KSI needs to work on is his defense, otherwise he's going to get absolutely totaled. I have faith in KSI. KSI is also a British YouTuber, and I've been watching for years, so obviously being British I do actually support him. I hope he does win, but one thing we need to acknowledge is the fact that Logan Paul is going to have hard punches and he's going to come prepared for this fight. So if KSI wants to win, he needs to work on his defense, he needs to work on blocking all those hits, because otherwise he's going to get knocked out in the first few rounds guaranteed. One thing that I would recommend KSI does though is, like I said, continue to work on endurance, master defense, and then literally just wait to throw punches at the end and wait till Logan Paul gets tired, because Logan Paul, in my opinion, like I said, just like Joe Weller, he already has the size, so if he doesn't lean down, he's definitely going to start getting tired. So the best thing for KSI to do is basically try and outlast him in rounds, try not to waste energy by throwing too much punches, work on the defense and block all of his hits, and take him out in the last few rounds. That's the only way, in my opinion, that KSI is going to win, because he's outmatched in arm reach length, he's outmatched in height, he's outmatched probably in power, but KSI definitely has so many strengths to work for him, such as endurance and lasting those rounds. So in my opinion, that's the only way that KSI is going to win. Logan Paul, the only way he's going to win as well is if he tries to exploit KSI's weakness. So he needs to exploit KSI's defense, which is his weakness currently. Who knows though, we haven't seen KSI train him, we haven't seen him for a few months in the fight, so he might have worked on his defense. I know that his trainer definitely said his defense is his weakness, so hopefully they have worked on that, because obviously if they haven't worked on that, this is going to be a lost fight. This is about money though in the long term of things, so for all we know the fight could be rigged. I'm not saying it is rigged, that's not my opinion, but like we said, for all we know it could be rigged. And you saw KSI won in the last one. KSI has more to lose than Joe Weller, in my opinion, so he kind of had to win that fight. So it could just be rigged for money, but if this is a real fight like we all think, definitely these two guys need to work on both these areas if they want to win. So now moving on to the predictions, who I think is going to win. So I think if this is a fair fight, if this is not a rigged fight, I think going into it, Logan Paul has a big chance to win, but KSI also has the experience, so I think as long as KSI has been working on his defense, KSI will definitely bag this easily, because all he has to do is outlast those rounds. He's already done that with Joe Weller, so he already knows how to last those rounds and kind of do a Floyd Mayweather approach on that, so he will definitely win. Logan Paul is a big fan of Conor McGregor. He's probably learnt a lot from him. He's probably been watching the Mayweathers because he was training with them. So he does have experience. His training, he does look like he hits hard punches. If he's going to win, he needs to try not to use too much energy and try not to use too many punches at the start. But if he exploits the weakness, we could definitely be seeing KSI knocked out in the first few rounds. I'm rooting for KSI though, but I think both these guys do have potential to knock each other out though. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'm really interested to see if you guys are actually invested in this fight. I know a lot of my subscribers won't actually be interested in this, but for those of you guys who are actually interested, I really want to know who you actually think is going to win, and I really want to know. So if you like this video, slap a like on the video and subscribe. I'm going to probably be doing more videos covering this fight, and we're going to be reacting to the winner at the end. And also, you don't want to miss daily gaming videos like GTA 5 and lore videos and top 10 videos on the channel. So definitely be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Let me begin. I came to win. Battle me, that's a sin. I won't tell a sack up. Punk, you better back up. Try and play the role and get a hold.